And I'm going to tell you a food that I'd stay away from is ranch flavored Doritos. If you ever look at the ingredients of those, that's like not something I would choose to do. Okay? How about vitamin D? You could have challenges losing weight if you don't have enough vitamin D in your body. Because if you don't have enough vitamin D in your body, there's an enzyme that constantly converts calories, carbs to fat. Vitamin D slows that down. Vitamin D will slow down that process, all right? Vitamin D. I would tell you that you could all take between 2,000 and 2,400 international units of vitamin D every day. Because we live in northern Ohio, make sure you're out in the sun as much as you can. Sunshine is an awesome source of vitamin D. Now, when I talk about organic food, preservatives and herbicides, that are in food, trick your body, plug your liver. You're going to have a greater challenge losing weight if you're eating conventional food, because that conventional food is throwing off your body's metabolism. You're going to try to, and you can start, the new buzz in America, the new movement is your own garden in the backyard, and there is a great organic fertilizer called Plant Tone. You should see the tomato plants that we have in our backyard. Plant Tone is for an organic. You can get organic soil, you can get organic plants. It doesn't, for $25, you'd be amazed how many plants that you can get. And herbs, most of the herbs I just mentioned to you, they're perennials. So you can have chives and parsley and even stevia year-round. Now let's talk about coffee and weight loss and the adrenal gland. Yes, my wife and I drink coffee. We drink half calf, half decaf organic coffee. If you consume caffeine coffee and you're doing that through the day, or a soda pop and or chocolate, and your caffeine level is up, your cortisol level is going to be up, and guess what you're not going to be able to do? Lose weight. It's one of the reasons if you're going to drink coffee, I would suggest you drink an organic decaffeinated coffee. We happen to use organic, half calf, half decaf. So let me tie all this together for you. So where do you start? Whole foods. We have a huge number of cooking videos on our website. We also have quite a few items that my wife Debbie made some rice milk almond ice cream, and she sweetened it with pear sweet. Pear sweet. It's delicious. Check us out on the internet, on our website. Avoid sweet addictive carbs. Avoid them with a passion. No sugar. When I say minimal fat, you just don't want to eat with reckless abandon a lot of fatty foods. You're going to gain some weight. You have to be logical about this, all right? Drink water, no soda, minimize or eliminate alcohol as much as you can. Try decaffeinated coffee or half calf, half decaf. Make sure you exercise. Here's something that's really important that most people don't get enough of: sleep. Can I tell you, when you wake up in the morning, this is going to be a shocker to some of you, you should wake up hungry. When you wake up hungry, that means your body is producing growth hormone. If you wake up full, your body's not producing as much growth hormone as it possibly should. And make sure you exercise 20 minutes every day. Recently I was on an air flight, and I went to sit down. This would be embarrassing if it was me. This was an airplane extender. Now, I don't know how many of you ever go on an airplane and you are sitting next to someone that really probably would need to lose some weight. You don't want to get to this point. See, a lot of times people don't realize when it comes to weight, it affects your heart. It affects becoming a diabetic. The number 1, 2, and 3 causes of death are heart, cancer, and diabetes. Guess what causes them more commonly than anything else? Being overweight. So thanks for your attention. I'd be happy to field any questions that you might have, and I pray that I made a difference in your life.
Thank you.
Anybody? Yes?
Do you exercise before you eat in the morning, or do you eat first?
Okay, good question. Do I exercise before or after I eat? I normally exercise before I eat.
So do you pop tall and go exercise?
Do I do what now?
Do you just get up and go exercise?
I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I do not jog until about 5:45. My wife and I, we pray together. We do a little bit of Bible time. That takes about about an hour and 15 minutes. That's normally when I might have the half decaffeinated coffee. But there are some days, but we generally will exercise before we eat. Because the toughest thing in the world is we exercise, we have all that food in your stomach because your body has to put the blood to that stomach to break it down.
It's easier when you're younger to exercise with food on your stomach.
Debbie said that she just thinks when you're younger it's easier to exercise with food in your stomach. So I don't know if that means we're old or not.
It doesn't mean we're old. No.
Way in the back.
I also heard just watching what you eat as far as portion sizes, trimming your stomach, making it smaller, and stuff like that, and also help you lose weight.
That's a really good point, and it is portion size because, in America today, it's amazing what they're doing when you go to places to eat. When you go to any other country in the world and you look at the food they give you, it's like, wow. So we're so used to these huge portions. I know oftentimes if we go out to eat dinner, which we rarely do, we always have a takeaway because if you keep on eating all the food they bring in front of you, it can definitely be an issue.
Yeah, or just stopping, when you think, all right, the next 5 bites, I'm going to get full. Stop right there.
Right. And that's one of the reasons that going to buffets are not always the best to go to. I really like to stay away from, especially breakfast buffets. Yes. You have a question?
I was going to ask you what time you go to bed at night and fit all these things in together before 4:30. You should have, what, at least 7 hours?
We're going to bed at 10. I'm in bed at 10.
Okay.
Yes, Debbie?
Talking about the portions it's really important to portion control in your evening meal because of digestion.
Yeah, my wife made a really good point. You want to eat the least amount in the evening meal. Now, the other day, this time of year, we had corn on the cob for dinner. That was it. We each had 2 corn on the cob, and we had some tomatoes. You can say, that's it? That's all we had. So you don't want to go to bed. If you ever go to bed at night and you have food in your stomach, and you wake up in the morning and it feels like the food is still in your stomach, guess what? It is. Probably one of the worst things to eat at nighttime is a piece of steak. If you're going to have some meat, have it at lunchtime. Okay? See, fat takes the longest to process. Protein's the second longest. Carbs go through the fastest. We usually have a very large salad at lunchtime with protein on it. We try to eat the least at dinner time. Yes?
Are the stevia packets okay?
That's a really good question because you got to watch those stevia packets today because there's a new stevia, I think it's called Truvia. If you look at it, it is not true stevia. Stevia is stevia. Now you could grow stevia next growing season. You go to your local nursery, they grow really ginormous. And we learned something this year. The last time we had stevia, we just cut the branches off and that was it. Well, we harvested our stevia leaves. And it's amazing how much stevia you can get. And you can put it either in a coffee grinder or in a little Cuisinart, and you can grind it up and you can put that stevia in iced tea if you so choose to use that. You have a comment?
Yeah, some of the stevia has maltodextrin.
Maltodextrin is a very common ingredient. So I personally would not use Truvia, personally. Yes, Janet. Her question is, how about agave nectar? Can I tell you honestly, truly, we don't use any of that. If my wife ever bakes anything or we sweeten something, we use pear sweet or fruit source. I want my blood sugar to stay normal. Because even agave nectar is I just don't want my blood sugar to get altered that I start getting the shakes where I have a high and I have a low. So I really focus on vegetables. See, it's going to get to a point where you're not going to even crave carbs. You know what the sweetest thing is that I eat? The apple. You'll be amazed at how sweet an apple is. It's unbelievable if you're not eating twisted ho-hos and the little cream puffs and the rest of that. And can I tell you what's going on out right now is that they're putting all these fake sugars in all the food. Your tongues are all being tricked. So what sugar used to be sweet, it's not sweet enough anymore. What do you think is happening to the kids today? I have an awesome video on my website. It's about food additives. Children's tongues have been tricked by food additives that they are desiring foods that cause a stimulation in the brain. So here's what's going on with the food industry today. It's about brain stimulation. They have learned the proper combination of salt, fat, and sugar that gets your brain going. And they